Okay, so here's the Awaken Destruction first gameplay video. Basically just want to go over some gameplay stuff so you guys can start getting a feel for how the game's going to be played. So first off, we have our champion here. We got our dragon here. And we're going to be going over the blood champion right now. Blood champion is Hitomi Takahashi, and her dragon is called Pulse. He's a blood dragon. The premise of the game is each champion is going to have their own dragon. It's a second entity. Killing the dragon off does not give you the win for the game, but it does hinder the champion. You're going to have to kill the champion in order to actually win the game. Essentially, the champion is just a health bar. Alright, first thing we have is our dragon defense dice and a 10-sided dice, which you can see here. It's also going to be color coordinated with whatever the champion's power is. Here we got our power gems. These are going to be our random cards. So we'll get one of those ready. Here's our power deck over here. And then I'm just going to flip over a couple of Awaken Destruction's forces. Let's not use that one. We'll go with these. Okay, so essentially at the start of the game you're going to pick 7 cards for your hand, whoever goes first. Every time it's your turn, 5, 6. Whenever it's your turn, you'll be able to pick draw a card, just like any other game. Down here, I know I went over this in one of the videos, but down here you have what's called government forces. You got your assassin, your small armies, and your mechs. What your government forces are going to do, they're independent allies. They're basically your government's response to Destruction's forces here in the center. Destruction's forces are independent enemies, and what they're going to be doing is attacking both sides of the field, sometimes simultaneously, sometimes, either or. But they add a little bit of chance to the game. Here in the middle is a location card, where the location card is going to be. What a location card does is it transports the battle to a place that is more helpful to the champion that he's fighting with. Example for this blood champion, one of her locations is a hospital or a blood bank, where she can gather and draw raw material. Only one person is going to be able to control the location at a time. So in order to just switch the location, this other champion, this is Woojin Kim, Woojin would just have to switch the location to one of his location cards. Control of the location does a couple things. It allows you to play certain cards, because certain cards require you to be at a specific location, and it also allows you to collect power gems. So each turn, if you do control the location, you're going to get at least 2 power gems. And power gems is one of the currencies for the game. So, to begin, first off, a round of play is going to happen. Destruction's forces, let me skip to that real quick. Destruction's forces is going to go after the first round. So I'll play my cards, do my attacks. My opponent will play his cards, do his attack, and then Destruction's forces will do their attack. And the way their attack is articulated is on the card, especially let's grab Brog here. On Brog's card, he's a minion. It annotates on the card 1, 2, and then an attack, 3, 4, then an attack, and 5, 6, and an attack. So whoever the last player is going to do the roll for Destruction's forces, and that's just a 6-sided dice. So basically the player will be like, okay, I'm rolling for Brog. They'll roll the dice, whatever that attack is. The card will annotate which side of the battle, or which champion that attack will go to. For instance, if they roll a 1 or a 2, it says attack dragon for 4 damage, and it's got an arrow pointing that way. So whatever happens, that attack is going to hit my opponent. Now if they roll 3 and 4, it's going to be the exact same attack, but there's an arrow that's pointing back at me. So that just indicates which side that the attack is coming from. 5 and 6, is always going to be an attack against these government forces that I was talking about earlier. And we'll get into that a little later as well. Up here at the top, you're going to see the health of the destruction force. And then down here in the lower right, that's going to be what their killing bonus. Whenever you kill one of destruction's forces, you'll be given the killing bonus at the bottom of the card. That killing bonus is going to be yours to utilize. You can either use it as damage or you can use it as health to heal yourself or your dragon. That's one of the differences in Awaken Destruction, is it does have this independent variable in the game. The higher your, like say here, Mul. Mul's got 53 health. He does a lot of damage, but he's got 19 for a killing bonus. So if your champion starts out at 100 health, which all champions start out at 100 health, that's going to take almost a fifth of their health just killing him. But because he has such high life, it's going to take a considerable amount of effort and power to bring him down. And we'll go into that a little later as well. So the bigger the creature, the more the killing bonus. Now, we're going to start. We'll take our 7 cards, and I'll just lay them down. I'll lay them down here so you can basically kind of get a look at what we're looking at. Awaken Destruction has beautiful artwork. I've personally taken care of the artwork. I direct all of it. I know what I want for the vision of the game. I've pulled a lot of different art styles. You'll see a lot of like anime styles, some realistic styles, some comic book styles. There's no set theme to the game itself. I like to have a different variety, and I want people to enjoy what they're looking at. So what we have here for our cards, it does look like we don't have a blood whip. Alright, so we'll get started. It's my turn. I drew my cards and I'm ready to attack. Now, the location is still empty, so I don't have any location cards going on right now. Let's see, what is the best way to do this? Okay, so we'll start out with a power card. So, power card is a card that you're going to use one time and one time only. You're going to play it in the active area. Set it there. You don't really need to play it in the active area, you just kind of got to show it because it's going to go away immediately. But the power card is going to tell you exactly what you can do. Up here is just the type of card, then you have the name. This little circle right here, this is going to tell you the level of this card, so this is a level 1 card, as opposed to, let's grab this one. You see here he's got 3 little markers there, that's a level 3 card, it's very powerful. The way the game pans out is, for level 1s, you can always have up to 4. For level 2s, you'll have only 2. And for level 3s, you'll only have 1 level 3 card if the cards go up to level 3. So, in this particular example, this is Blood Sphere level 1. Blood Sphere level 2 is going to be more powerful and have more bells and whistles to it. Blood Sphere number 3 is going to be the most powerful, but it's also going to be the hardest to try to get out. It's the hardest to cast, and it's going to have the most countermeasures against it. And this is where, again, I'll show you this a little bit later. So let's start out by playing our Blood Sphere card. The way a power card is going to work, this particular card is only usable against dragons. So I'm going to announce I'm attacking your dragon. This Woojin Kim, his dragon is Boulder. So I'll just say, I'm attacking Boulder, or I'm attacking your dragon, however you want to articulate what you're attacking. Then he's going to roll a dragon defense. If you see this bar right here on top, that's going to be your dragon defense bar. Inside of that is going to be 2 of 6 words for a level 1. In this particular case, it's damage and reshuffle. What a dragon defense is the ability of the champion to roll a counter to your card, a counter defense against your card. If his dragon is still alive, he will always have the option to roll that dragon defense. Well, most of the time. So in this particular case, he's like, okay, I want to attack your dragon with Blood Sphere. So he's going to roll his dragon defense. Alright, so he rolled damage and 2 with his 10-sided dice. Now, I attack his dragon for 2, so a dragon is going to take 2 damage. Now you can decide, he can decide if he wants to take this 2 damage and put it towards my champion or my dragon. Either one. And my dragon's only got 50 health. My champion's got 100 health. So it's pretty much where you want to put, how you want to do your attack. In this particular case, he would say, okay, I want to attack your champion for 2. So my champion would go down 2. His dragon would go down 2 as well. The card on the left, right here, this is going to tell you what the damage is for that particular card. Up here in the upper left-hand corner, you're also going to see the level of the card. This is a level 1 card. It's low level. Low level cards genuinely have 2 dragon defenses in the dragon defense bar. A level 2 card will have 3, and a level 4 card will have 4 dragon defense words. And that's what I'm saying. To have a high level 3 card, you're also going to have a high probability of that card doing a counter attack against you. So you got to be wary of that whenever you're setting up your deck. So in this particular case, we did our damage to each other. Now, down in the text box, it's going to have a couple things also. In this particular case, if damage is dealt, target champion cannot roll dragon defense dice for the rest of their turn. For the rest of your turn. So this is saying for me. For the rest of my turn, my opponent cannot roll his dragon defense dice. These right here. It says card only usable on dragons. That's just saying this card you can only attack. The dragon is the only one that's going to take the damage from this. Because the dragon was attacked, he's encompassed in this blood sphere, because that's the name of the card, he cannot provide you with that dragon defense anymore. So in this particular case, this is the setup card where now you've taken their dragon defense dice away, and that sets you up to, if you have a string of attacks that you want to do the rest of your turn, he now does not have a defense against it. So you're free reign to play whatever cards that you can play in an attack against him. So in this particular case, say your next card you wanted to play Direwolf. Direwolf's a level 3 card. He's going to do a lot of damage. So you'll play his Direwolf card, and normally he would roll this dragon defense, and as you can see here, he's got 4 dragon defenses against him: reshuffle, heal, damage, and block. But since Blood Sphere was played already and took his dice away, or took his dragon defense away, now I've got free reign to hit him with this without worrying about him defending against it or damaging me or blocking it and getting rid of the card altogether. So that's pretty much it for the power cards. That's the way this works. This is one of the ways that this particular game mechanic will work. So those that have the Blood Champion, you're going to have Blood Sphere. There's another really cool card that the Blood Champion has called Heart Attack, which you can decide if you want to stop them from taking a card on their turn, or if you want to pull the dice away, however you want to play that. But that again will be a little bit later when you guys see your cards. The other thing is, in addition to power cards, you got what you call Power Beast cards. And a Power Beast card is it's some type of creature card, and it's going to have health. So until it's dead, it's going to remain out on the board. Since we already got the Alpha Male out, Direwolf Alpha Male, this is a level 3 card, we'll just utilize him. In this particular case, up here again, this is the health of the Power Beast. You have 2 numbers down here, whereas the power card you saw on this one, it only had 1 number. And that's just because this is a special card. This card is particular. It's only an attack that you can be used against the dragon. Normally, this attack would be what you hit everything on the board with except mechas and slayers. This number on the right, this bigger number, is going to be what you hit your slayers. You got 2 slayers out here, and your mechas. The reason why there's this second number here is because if you remember when I was showing you this, your slayers, I said, has a lot more health, and they take a lot longer to kill. So whenever you're attacking, if you're going to go for one of these big creatures, this is a counter, or not a counter, but a boost to your power when you're using this to attack you know, the bigger creatures. And I think we've got a mech here also that I can play. But as you can see, my mech's got 43 health, and this particular Slayer has 53. But if you're looking at Kasai, you know, he's got 44. So you can see, even with this direwolf out there, it's still going to take me, you know, 4 or 5 turns to kill this particular Slayer. So it's going to be one of those things where I really have to decide how I want to utilize my forces. With Awaken Destruction, it's not a quick game, it's a thinking game. You really want to sit down and figure out the best way to utilize your assets. Oh, wait, this goes back up here. I think that's it for this video. I don't want to make these too long, but I do want to tell you one thing. Awaken Destruction is going to be an LCG, a living card game, which means whenever we do put this out, because of the nature of how the champions are built, you're not going to be able to share any of your cards. You know, if say you have Woojin Kim, or and you have Hitomi. You cannot use Woojin's card in Hitomi's deck, and you can't use Hitomi's cards in Woojin's deck, because they've got different powers. Each particular champion has selected their own powers and will have their own cards for that. That's why I decided to release this as an LCG. But actually, I'll talk about all this a little bit later in an interview. That's the first video. I hope you guys like it. Get this out there to your friends. I'm going to do more videos explaining more stuff. You know, we only went into a couple things, the power card, the power beast card. We have several different cards that I want to show you guys. Companion cards, combo cards, all the government forces, how those work. We didn't get into the random cards. Plus there's also different ways to counterbalance or counter the dragon defense, you know, by utilizing gems. There's a whole lot of stuff, and it is a bit complicated, but once you guys get it, it's a lot of fun to sit down and actually, you know, sit down and beat another person. You really have to be smart and cunning and crafting and utilize the chance of the board, utilize Destruction's forces. Everything is there. You just have to use your skill, a little bit of luck, and really build those decks right. Thanks a lot, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you.